You ever wonder if, in their relentless pursuit of AI supremacy, these tech behemoths are drifting away from their core values, their reason for being, their why, like we know them? It's been on my mind, so let's talk about it. First, what's good, community? I'm Noble, a product and engineering strategist and AI risk manager at Byte and Atom Research. And I started this YouTube journey to demystify the patterns and practices behind these advanced AI tools that we use daily. And I train aspiring founders, developers, and engineers on how to responsibly deliver these tools. So do subscribe and provide your feedback on what works. It motivates me to continue. So let me circle back to that initial question. Are these tech giants in their sprint from AI dominance losing sight of their original mission? I am leaning yes here because take Google, for example. Last year, they seemed almost caught off guard by the market's infatuation with OpenAI's breakthroughs. I mean, DALL-E dropped, and then GPT-3 dropped, and then ChatGPT just broke the internet. And it momentarily sidelined their foundational goal of organizing the world's information for everyone's benefit. And in that rush, they botched their launch of Bard, and because it hallucinated and tanked their stock, they've been playing catch up ever since, just to play copycat with ChatGPT. Momentarily, they've forgotten that they were trailblazers. They still are trailblazers in many of these AI systems that they invented, that their competitors use every day. They invented the hardware to train the deep neural networks efficiently. They invented or pioneered natural language processing techniques like word to vec and sequence to sequence. And let's not forget the transformer model. Yes, the very T in GPT. And it got me thinking, there's this innovator's dilemma problem as part of this. And I get it, this curious trend of imitation over innovation with giants like Google opting for just dumbest things like text-based interaction across all of their services just to compete against OpenAI's approach with ChatGPT. Forgetting that OpenAI's mission and purpose and reason for being is completely distinct from them. And in this video, I want to tackle that topic, and I'll break it into sort of two sections. One is the market pressure problem, where ChatGPT's success set new expectations for conversational AI capabilities, and how, in my opinion, that deviates Google from its mission and its focus. Then I want to tackle, super nitpicky, but I want to tackle conversational AI. I've written a lot about how chat is a terrible interface for companies to overinvest in. Talk about market expectations of Google and their strategic investments in what they're now calling Gemini. Let's talk about how Gemini came to be, or Bard came to be. And it's not a Google story, it is surprise, surprise, an OpenAI story. OpenAI in 2015 altered the tech landscape. You had visionaries like Ilya Sutskever, who came from Google, joining forces with Sam Altman, Greg Brockman, and others. They even had Elon Musk in there somewhere, taking credit for somebody else's work. Different video, I'll tell you more about that. Their mission was ambitious. It was clear. OpenAI wanted to pioneer the development of artificial general intelligence. It started with robots because it made sense to use robots to model the world. Didn't work, too expensive, whatever, too complex, the technology wasn't there, whatever it was, they pivoted to large language models and innovated in how these large language models are aligned, how to reinforce its learning using computers. The ambition, you can tell, is distinct from the get-go. It sets them apart from other competitors. Their focus and their mission is centered on alignment and responsible delivery of AI. Totally different from organizing the world's information with Google. So OpenAI's also, their mission isn't about, their goal isn't about market dominance, at least initially. It's about democratizing intelligence. And talking to these large language models requires text. It requires a medium like voice or text. That makes sense. Conversational AI does not make sense for Google because Google's mission, being fundamentally different to organize the world's information, their ethos is not just about retrieval through chat. It's about making the vast expanse of the internet navigable and valuable for everyone, where they are. Which is why the mediums by which they distribute their services, the way that we interact with Google and its tech, spans operating systems like Chrome OS or Android, their hardware, their software. These offer distinct opportunities and deep learning innovations that go beyond traditional AI interfaces. For developers, enabling, a competitor to Hugging Face through Kaggle. They've completely forgotten about Kaggle, at least it seems that way. And recently they did throw Kaggle a bone by releasing Gemma, their open source version of Gemini, and throwing their model cards on Kaggle. I guess Kaggle exists still. Let me give a simple example. Recently, companies like OpenAI or Rabbit, makers of that little cute personalized computer that should be a phone, but it's not, announced something called agents to learn through interfaces and automate a lot of the things that we do. For OpenAI, it's a step towards their mission of AGI. For Rabbit, it's something through neurosymbolic programming or whatever. And the point is it requires browsers and extensions, and thus innovations within Chrome OS, improving the developer experience to build out extensions to enable agents is something I think is worthy of an investment from Google, but no, Google is losing its way. Brings me to my second point. I've got this bone to pick about chat. Should text be the primary mode of communication with companies calling for super intelligence? Literally, we are building AGI and text is the interface. It doesn't sit well with me. It may work for OpenAI because they're strategic and it's very apparent where they're trying to get to. But for Google, given that they have mediums and distribution mechanisms like Android, Nest, Google Home, not to mention wearables, vehicle, and my Volvo has an assistant in it. Should chat or just voice alone be the focus? Or is this part of a larger 4D chess match that I'm yet to observe? Now, I think Google is shoehorning Gemini, it used to be called Duet, into IDEs, Workspace, their ads product, basically any tool that includes languages, pretty much all of them. But chat interfaces bring terrible user experiences, what user researchers and human-computer interaction folks call the cold start problem, because it's a blank canvas. Users aren't sure how to begin or what to ask for. It exacerbates this cognitive load that they have to do. This is actually contributing, in my opinion, hallucinations, because you don't know how to turn our fuzzy language, as Alan Furstenberg, a friend of mine, always puts, into sort of zeros and ones in a way that computers will understand. We know that these tools also hallucinate. So an AI product manager, such as myself, will think through about it rather than give you a chat interface, will incorporate a UI constraint, such as a toggle tip or a tooltip or an overlay on top of the interface to mitigate these challenges, add some friction between that raw blank canvas and the goal that the user wants to get to, while providing an intuitive interface. And so look at the thoughtful large language models that companies like Adobe or Notion or Figma, as a product manager tool that I use every day. Look at how they integrate large language models. Chat is additive. It's often never the main feature, it's secondary. Within this context, Google's ecosystem stands out as a beacon of an untapped potential. Imagine the seamless integration of AI across the platforms we use daily, from Google Search. And yes, they have the generative search experience, but it's just search. And that's why Perplexity's apparently eating their lunch. And look at the collaborative environments like Google Workspace, rather than have chat tucked to the side and calling it Duet or whatever they want to call it, having more interactive interfaces using the strengths and the latent space and the interactions that these language models bring. Each of these mediums offer a unique avenue to enhance human interactions with technology, making it more intuitive, more contextual, more accessible. So in my view, Google's journey this past year serves as a powerful reminder. Amidst a rush towards the next groundbreaking innovation, it's crucial to stay anchored to our reason for being, our raison d'etre, our why. I think for Google, it's about making the world's information universally accessible, as their mission states. This principle should not be obscured by the allure of copying ChatGPT and OpenAI. I think that's a big miss. And it's a lesson that extends beyond corporate giants to each one of us, makers, innovators, creators, navigating our path through tumultuous seas. And I say that as ChatGPT actually helped me rephrase that, and I actually hate it now, but I'm going to keep it in. So, if this exploration of AI modalities and mediums and philosophical underpinnings of tech giants like Google and others has sparked a curiosity in you, I do invite you to join me on this journey of discovery. Subscribe and follow, and thank you for investing your time with me today.